In this video, I'm going to show you how to add some text to a pre-existing plot. The easiest way to do that is use the text command. Now the text command is going to take at least 3 arguments. The first 2 arguments are going to be the position of the text you want to place. So in this case, I want to put the text, say it's 1, 5. So I'll put it right there. So I'm going to start with 1, 5, and then I have to tell it what text I want. So I will write text wanted. And now if I run this command, it'll put my text wanted, and it'll actually place it centered right in this spot. And you'll notice in this case it's close to the edge and it runs off. And my plotting region ends right here, so I don't actually get any text beyond that. So what might I want to do? I might want to play with the positioning of this. And so there's this extra argument here, POS, and you can set this to 1, 2, 3, or 4. And I'll start by setting it to 1. And what that does is it puts my text below the point I was interested in. If I set it to 2, it sets it to the left, in which case this is worse, it sets it off the screen. Then I can set it above, and then I can set it to the right. And so that might be the option I want to use in this particular case here. Now you might be looking at this and saying, well, I can't see the text anyway because it's got that grid there. Well, if you remember, I was saying put the grid on here, but take it out when you actually want your final picture. That way you can see what's sitting behind there. But it makes it much easier if you have the grid sitting in there to tell where your coordinates are and where things might want to go. Now, other thing you might notice about this is I have a graph and it's missing any kind of labels. So what I can do, since this is a custom graph, I can actually add these labels after the fact. What I do is I use the title function. Now the title function can take a lot of arguments, but the main 3 we're going to concern ourselves with are the main option there. Then there's going to be an xlab argument. And then there's going to be a ylab argument. And so what this should do is give me a title up at the top that says main, an x label of x, and a y label of y. And so I'm going to run all of these. And you'll notice right now what happens is I just get that title of main up at the top, but I don't seem to be getting my x and y. The reason for this is my margins are too small around the picture. The y is actually sitting off the edge of my plot someplace, and the x is doing the same thing. It's sitting somewhere off the edge. So what I'd have to do is change the margins on my picture. And so you just have to play with that to see what will work. I'm going to set these both to 4. So it'll basically make it so that the top margin and the right margin are half as big as the left and the bottom margin. If I do that, what you see is I get my x and my y there. And so that's how I can go about adding some text to my graph, or my plot, I should say.